And joining us on the Harbor One Hotline is Mac Jones. Mac, how you doing? Did you watch a lot of football yesterday in the off day?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. We're good. Joe, did you sit around and watch a lot of football?
Yeah, I watched a little bit. I think that and soccer too, right? The World
There you
Cup,
go.
so it's fun.
Oh,
So that was fun.
World
US
Soccer
lost,
game.
but yeah, I like to watch soccer. It's fun.
Oh, nice. I like it. So you sat around, watched a little soccer Saturday, a little football on Sunday. Sounds like an eventful weekend for you. It's nice.
Yeah, super eventful.
All right, so Mac, I got to get right to it. I want to ask you the question. So, I know another frustrating night for you guys Thursday offensively. We saw some of that emotion on the sidelines. Do you feel like your offensive coaches put you in a position to succeed?
Yeah, I think we're all working together and working really hard, and that's all you can ask for. And we have a plan each week, and we try to adjust that plan and make it the best we can. And as players, we just have to go out there and do it right and do it as best we can. And we need to put a better, showing on the field than what we put on the field in our last game. So that's really it. I mean, it's all about hard work and doing the right things during the week. And then once you get to the game, I mean, the hay's in the barn, right? You just got to go out there and play play fast and play for each other. And beyond the X's and O's, it's more about a mentality. So we definitely need to work on our mentality of, hey, we're going to go out there and all 11 of us are going to do our job and see what happens. And the result's going to be a lot better.
The reason why I say this is because watching football yesterday, and it's just, I think from the outside looking in, it's you see other teams with creativity and doing what you do best. I know you've had your numbers with play action and RPOs and just red zone creativity, those sort of things. People wonder, like, do you want to do more? Do you want to do more of that? Throw the ball downfield, more RPOs, more play action.
Yeah, I think every game is different, right? When you watch around the league and things like that, it's how are they attacking that week? And sometimes it's things that, you might not realize until you have to watch the other defense, right? And see, all right, well, we want to do this, but is it really the best idea? And I think for us, it's just going out there and doing the plays better. And we have the plan. We know what we're supposed to do. We just got to do it together. And that starts with me in practice and all that. And it comes down to execution. There's cool plays, but at the end of the day, they're all plays, right? And if 11 guys are doing it right, then it's going to look good on the field. So that's kind of where we're at. And it just depends, on your opponent. You can't, say you're going to do all these cool, fun trick plays, right? But it really just depends on what they're doing over there. And you got to take away what they do well. And then obviously you want to do what you do well. So at the end of the day, it all comes back to winning. So we want to win, and every game's different. For us as an offense, we want to put enough points up there to win. And last game we didn't do that. So we have to look at it and say, all right, what can we do to score more points and, give our defense a little breather. And, at the end of the day, we look up and we won.
So, you talk about the mentality. Is that kind of like where it seems like there's a lot of frustration with, offensive players, specifically you on the sideline with the whole, comments that you already addressed about, throwing it down the field, and Kendrick Bourne in the locker room talking about like the scheme needs to be better. Like, how are you guys managing those emotions with doing what you're saying to do, playing better, but not having a different outcome?
Yeah, I think we're all super competitive, and it shows that we care. Coaches, players, the fans, everybody involved in this thing, we all care. So that's the number one thing, right? If you don't care, then you don't have a chance. So that's the biggest thing, is knowing that, and then obviously funneling it the right way to be super competitive. All right, how do we come together? How do we play for each other? All 11 on the same page. And then, like you're talking about, the results will change. And it's a mentality, and it's something that we've talked about, but we just really need to harp on it as an offense. And honestly, we're not in a bad spot here. So we just got to go out there and compete, put more points on the board, and execute better, and then obviously win the game. Whatever we have to do to win at this point, that's what we need to do. So we understand that, and every week's going to be different. And when you get to the game, it might be different. You might have thought, all right, we're going to score 35 points today, but it ends up we only scored 17. And at the end of the day, if that's enough to win, then we should be fine with that.
So, Mac, real quickly, when you talk about you're in a good spot, do you mean based on the standings in the AFC, or as far as just the emotional makeup of the team?
I mean, honestly, everything. I think, we obviously have we're going to go in tomorrow, right? And then kind of break everything down. And I think at the end of the day, we just have to continue to come together and players, coaches, everybody involved, and just continue to work. And that's all you can do. Can't really control the other stuff. What happened in the past has happened in the past, but we got to have the right mindset and attitude and positivity and things like that, which is really hard when you're not necessarily doing great right now. But that's what great leaders and great players and great teams do. They work through their adversity, and then next thing you know, all right, let's play this game and see what we can do. And we're playing a great football team, on Monday. So we understand that. And at the end of the day, it starts with us. And that's all you can control is your attitude, effort, work ethic, all that stuff. So we know what we have to do.
So, Mac, one of the things that you said after the game on Thursday was that you wanted to be coached harder. How does that look to you? And do you feel like the urgency is where you want it to be with the team and the coaching staff overall?
Yeah, I think, once again, we're all super competitive. And anytime, it doesn't really look good on film or things like that, we want to be coached hard. And that's what our coaches are going to do. So it's everybody just being accountable. And that's kind of the definition of tough coaching. It's having those hard conversations when, something might not have gone right with a player, like, hey, you did this wrong. And as a player, you kind of have to be like, okay, how can I fix it? And I think our coaches have done that, and we need to just lock in on that. And, all right, what's the problem? How do we solve it? And when you watch the tape, we're close, but we just got to eliminate those, at this point, few plays in every game, a handful of plays that just aren't very good. And once we can fix those, then everything goes. So we understand it's us as players, and then we got to trust the coaches, which we are, and they put a lot of hard work into it, and that's what we have to do. It's a player's game, and we want to come together and play for each other.
So do you feel like you're getting enough, constructive criticism from the coaching staff in terms of understanding why plays didn't work out or why maybe the game plan when you went in that week turned out not to be the right path when you're actually in the game?
Yeah, I think those are conversations that we have, and that's internal, and you want to be able to have those with your position coach or with Matty P or with Coach Belichick and Coach Judge. Like, it's not fun at the time, maybe like, hey, you didn't do this right, or it didn't look as good as in practice, but you have to have them. And I feel like we just need to do that more often and work through the problems, because, there's obviously some things we want to get better at, but that's part of life, right? You kind of have issues or things that you want to get better at, and you put them, I always say, in one bucket, and you figure it out. And then the other bucket that you're doing things well, just continue to do those things good. So we're all on the same page in that regard. And like I said, we're all going to work really hard. We're all competitive. So it's just a giant, collective effort of putting our best product on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, whenever our games are.
We're talking to Mac Jones here on the Harbor One Hotline. And Mac, speaking of Kendrick Bourne, he said a lot after that game, talking about third downs and scheming better and sort of running plays into what the defense wants you to run. So do you ever just sit under center and feel like, you're running a play into a defense that knows it's coming?
I think, this is the NFL, as I always say, and there's great players on both sides of the ball, and great coaches and scheme and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, it goes back to the mentality of, all right, at some point, they're going to know what we're doing. We know what they're doing. It's just who can do it better. Mm-hmm. And that's the challenge that you have to kind of accept. And sometimes it is a scheme game, right? And you know exactly what's going on and all that stuff. And we have all these stuff schemed up. But a lot of times we're just kind of going to go out there and compete against another defense. And we have to compete harder and longer. And sometimes we do that, and then other times we don't. So it just needs to be more consistent, and it starts with me, right? I'm the quarterback, and that's my job, is to go out there and do my part. And I'm, one part of it, but I also have leadership over a lot of guys. So we're going to work on, hey, collectively, let's have that mindset. Let's go out there, 11 guys. Let's compete, dominate, don't wait, all that stuff. So we're kind of all in on the same page, when we get together here and make sure that we can do that.
So I guess my last question was Rhamondre Stevenson. Does that guy ever complain about playing too much? He's a workhorse last week, with Harris being down, and obviously he got the bulk load of the carries. You ever worry about him doing too much?
No, I think Rhamondre is one of those guys that you don't have to worry about. Whether it's when he's in there or when he's not, he's always got the right attitude, and he's a great example to follow in terms of he wants to be in there and he wants the ball. And when he gets the ball, he makes the most of it. So I think it's just a good example of, whether it's pass protection or catching or, making a guy miss in the run game. He's done it all this year, and he's just a great example. And obviously not having Damian is tough, right, for that game and all that. So Damian's a great player, and Kevin and Pierre have done a great job as young guys just trying to do their part. And I think the biggest thing for them is just go out there and play football, because it's still a childlike game, right? You just got to go do your thing. And Andre definitely sets a great example in Damian and all those guys. So it's a good group of guys, and Vinny's done a really good job with them.
All right, so it's time for the quarterback question of the week, which is sponsored by Northeast Men's Health, where they specialize in taking care of men's sexual health. They have offices in Dedham near Legacy Place, in Salem, New Hampshire, in Marlborough serving Metro West, and now in Woburn. Mac, just in case you were wondering, you can learn more at northeastmenshealth.com, and that Woburn location has offices as early as 7 a.m. Just in case. So, listen, this is a random squirrel moment question because Mego just made me think of something. It's a two-parter. One, do you have any Louis Vuitton luggage?
That is a super personal question.
Why is that super personal? Like,
No,
I feel like it's a yes, and I have a
It's
bag.
very
I mean,
specific. Christian said
I have
that
one bag.
when he was in the league, he felt like he got caught up in everybody has the special bag that
I
they
bought a
bring
bag.
on when they board the
Right.
plane, and there's the photo. So he
like a
still
you made it
has this
moment.
bag.
Yeah, I wonder if you have one.
Yeah, the good news is it lasts forever, right?
Absolutely.
It's an investment piece.
Yeah. So the second part, Mac, is probably something I should have asked you last year when you were a rookie. But when you did sign your rookie deal, is there anything specific that you said, okay, I want to buy this? Is there anything that you got, with your first contract in the NFL?
Like a dog.
Yeah, some guys get a car or whatever.
Technically we bought our dog, right? So
There you go.
Like that was kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't really have anything crazy, but just a nice puppy, Rose.
Yeah, dog. Some people look at that as crazy.
You want to ask your Alabama question?
I do. Did you think NCAA think they got it right, leaving Bama out of this playoff?
Oh Lordy, it's tough, right? I mean, you're a 2-loss team and stuff, but I think they'll be back next year, so you can't really control it. But we were kind of in a similar situation in 2019. We had 2 losses, and obviously we didn't make it, and we weren't going to make it. But we came back the next year and fought hard. So I think it's a good, you want to make it every year, but sometimes it just doesn't go your way. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
All right, Mac. Well, listen, we appreciate it, taking the time, and good luck next Monday night out in Arizona. I know you guys are staying out there. We heard that this morning. So good luck out there on the West Coast.
All right. Thank you.